Good evening, Postal family. What's going on? My name is Syed. Welcome back to my channel. How's everybody doing this Thursday evening? We got some. I came across this article that I wanted to read is regarding the current times of heat-related risk stuff going on, investigation, and our services involved. That's what today's topic is. This article that our service been. It's huge, really huge. I found it really interesting, so I wanted to share it. Things going on. If you're new to the channel, my name is Syed. Postal content is what I do. If you like this type of content, go ahead and subscribe and keep smashing the likes as many times as you can. Helps out the channel, helps out the video a lot. And share in the comments whatever you guys have in mind, anything you want to tell me, and some news going on, or anything that's on your mind. I love reading all your comments. I respond to each and every one of y'all. Doesn't matter, it's negative, positive, I respond. So thanks so much for all the support I get, and I'll continue to do what I do. Respect all y'all. So let's get into the article. Postal Service ignoring heat risks to mail carriers investigation finds. Internal records show the U.S. Postal Service has tried to get workers out of air-conditioned offices. The allegations come on 1 year after the agency was accused of falsifying heat training records. Okay, here we go. We're under the scope again. Climate where the email went out shortly after a dangerous heat dome in July had smothered upstate New York. A U.S. Postal Service manager in Buffalo, New York was angry that letter carriers appeared to be lingering in air-conditioned post offices and told local supervisors to get this time back. Man, we are more corrupt than we originally thought. The system from the beginning, it seems that it just deteriorated, and the way these managers are trained and supervisors to so much, I don't want to use the word evil, but it's inhumane to treat even, doesn't matter which employee like this bad. The manager says turn AC off and drive them out. The manager ordered in a July 2 email obtained by Politico's E&E News. We need to tighten our four walls up. Whatever that means, I don't know, but it can be good. We need to tighten our four walls up. Have any of you guys heard this terminology before? Let me know in the comments what this really means. And I don't know, we need to tighten up, meaning cut the budget out for AC, turn the AC off, save some money for our bonuses. What does that mean? 1 year after it was accused of falsifying heat safety training records for thousands of letter carriers, the Postal Service is now facing allegations that it is pushing employees to rush mail deliveries in sweltering conditions. And this is just recently caught. This has been going on for decades. I mean, every day this happens around the country. Letter carriers in locations across the country say that for a second year they have not received essential safety training on how to stay healthy in the heat, even as their personal records say otherwise. Training for heat? We never received any of that. It's like that's always overlooked. We go out there, it's pretty automatic. Deliver your mail and come back. If you're still standing, what do you got to complain about the heat for? Delivering in an oven for? That's nothing like that. Training for heat? They never had anything like that. Should they? Letter carriers in locations across the country say that for a second year they have not received, read that. On Thursday, 77 House Democrats in a letter urged Postmaster General Lewis, it's dejoy, it's a lot of joy, to immediately implement safeguards to protect workers from heat. All that guy is going to do is read whatever they sent him, and there it goes. They don't care about us, man. We know they don't care, man. What is that? That's nothing new. He's just going to pass it by like he didn't even read it. In 1 year, out the other. Frontline workers, keep working. Keep the balances coming in for our bonuses. If there is a set of supposed mistakes coming up over and over again across the country that put people at risk of the heat, that becomes a systematic problem. Now we're getting somewhere, said Representative Greg Cesar, who superseded the letter. The accusations come as the U.S. is experiencing its hottest summer on record, with rolling heat advisories in place across the country since June. The Occupational Safety and Health Administration is investigating the death of a USPS worker in North Carolina as possibly heat-related. That's the supervisor months ago that I guess she was forced into doing a check ride. Check ride meaning she has to be in the back where no fresh air comes. Carriers is a heat dome already, but we get the windows is open as we're delivering, so we get some air in. She's in the back sitting, checking on the carrier. And I don't know how she made the whole day. The story is, I remember she got back to her branch, went in the restroom, and that was it. She didn't get up, and emergency vehicles came. So that's what they're talking about, the North Carolina. The Postal Service did not respond to the E&E News request for comment or questions about its approach to employee safety in the heat. What, they're going to come out and say heat-related, somebody passed away, and who are we going to blame, ourselves? They're not going to admit anything, ever. It's a systematic thing. They are, it's sad, but that's how the system is, I don't know, for decades and decades. What's going on? It has not changed. Unbelievable. Letter carriers are among the workers most vulnerable to heat illness because they often drive trucks without air conditioning and walk long distances carrying heavy mail bags. Yes, yes, and more yes. Carriers, we do all that in the heat. The walking routes, much respect to you all. They work much harder than us, the driving routes. You got a satchel in one. You're already sweating. Mind me, it's 100 plus degrees. You got satchel, you got mail in your hand, and if you have circulars there, that's extra also in your satchel. So I've done it before. Much respect. A lot of people to my carriers with walking routes. God bless you all. God bless. I've been there, done that as a CCA. Two whole years and few months I did it. It's not easy, but the heat we faced this past last couple of months is unreal. It's you can't. I mean, you can put on your shorts, but people are getting all kinds of heat rashes now. It's not good. The heat is getting worse and worse every year, and they talk about not giving us a contract, giving us a big raise that we all deserve. I don't know, God help this organization, make sure our carriers, safe out there. Hospitalizations for heat-related illnesses account for 14% of the 1,176 on-job injuries USPS reported to OSHA between January 2014 and February 2023, according to an E&E News analysis of federal data. That's the ones that are reported. What about the thousands that were not reported? That's were thrown under the table, if you get my drift. Wow. But the Postal Service has long denied that heat harms its carriers, fighting OSHA citations. Heat doesn't harm us. We're carriers. We don't have blood in here. You cut it open. What we got in here? We not humans. You cut this open. Are we machines inside? Maybe. What do you mean it doesn't harm your carriers or superhumans? Or that's the dumbest thing written by an organization in history. Has long denied that heat harms its carriers. I can't believe I'm reading this. A federal organization can make a dumb comment like that. I mean, how does this make sense? Your carriers are human beings. They don't, heat doesn't bother them, or cold doesn't bother them. They're machines. We punch in the morning, do your route, come back. If you're sweating, if you're tired, we don't care. Heat doesn't bother us. We'll keep fighting, keep working. An E&E News investigation in December found that the Postal Service was facing thousands of allegations that it had falsified safety records to show erroneously that letter carriers had been trained to recognize and treat symptoms of heat illness when they hadn't received training. After the article was published, USPS admitted that in a few instances proper procedures were not followed. Few instances. I mean, really? Hadn't received training? You don't provide training for heat. What do you give us, a rag and some stations don't even provide cold water to begin with. They got a problem buying a skid of cold water for the 3-month season. This is amazing stuff, man. The heat training cases from last summer are in arbitration. Heat cases from last summer are gone to arbitration. Hundreds of additional letter carriers say their records were falsified again this year. Boy, how long has this been going on? Heat-related employees been reporting over decades, been falsified, and good God, we broke open something big today, guys. Letter carrier Eugene Gates Jr., who didn't receive the training in 23, died of a heat stroke in June 23 while delivering mail. Records revealed after his death that Gates had been disciplined for taking rest breaks on his route, prompting outcry from members of Congress. I remember this guy, Eugene Gates of Texas, I believe. Our soldier had reported that, he was disciplined for taking rest breaks on his route. You know how you get a 10-minute, then a half an hour, another 10-minute? In the heat, you have to take more than that. Otherwise, you'll pass out. You got to stop and drink or go to the restroom, cool off out of the heat. And some pathetic stations and people discipline carriers, human beings, soldiers, their front line, for taking those additional breaks in 110 degrees heat. Eugene Gates lost his life. As record-breaking temperatures scorched the nation this summer, Postal Service managers have been accused of denying air conditioning for letter carriers and appeared to blame the workers for heat problems. They flip the script and they accuse us that we shouldn't complain or anything that is heat. Hot outside. Wow. A letter carrier in Wisconsin's Rapids, Wisconsin complained to OSHA in July that employees are being potentially exposed to heat-related hazards due to refraining from starting up air conditioning units while route preparations are being performed. This is some insane stuff. The complaint also said the employee's work shift was moved to later in the day when temperatures are higher. Who do we work for, guys? Are these human beings managers, or how much are they brainwashed, these supervisors? I mean, really? Instead of moving the start times back to, expose your carrier, oh, I shouldn't say the carriers, us machines, not they don't think we're theirs. Have some compassion. Instead, they move the time forward to give us more exposure to the heat. The complaint is currently open. OSHA spokesperson Denisha Braxton said, scanners monitor unauthorized periods of inactivity. Yeah, they got that new thing with scanners. Forget the name of it. Every truck has its installed in it. If you look, they place this sticker that looks like a Wi-Fi something. There's a word for it. I'm not getting it right now, but it's on the trucks now. It's there. So if the truck is not moving, they can pretty much tell along with the scanner. And the carrier comes in from a route. It's 110-degree day. He'll be questioned. You took your 10 here. You took your 30 here. You took your 10 here. So what is this 2 here? What is this 4 here? And the carrier is going to say heat brakes. And here goes the discipline. It's insane, man. It's blatantly insanity, man. Postal Service headquarters has long been concerned about unauthorized rest breaks by letter carriers. In a PowerPoint presentation to area supervisors in May, USPS cited 98,000 hours of inactivity delivery time and instructed managers to use digital observance through letter carrier mail scanners to monitor unauthorized periods on inactivity. This is getting rougher and rougher, man. How many things come out of this service that is unreal? Wow. You guys, if you're new to the channel, my name is Syed, postal content. If you have an interest in this kind of content, please go ahead and subscribe. I love all y'all comments, and keep smashing the like button. I appreciate all the support I get from each and every one of you, time and time, right out there with you, carriers. Respect for all y'all on this heat, 3 months of heat, exhausting heat we've been through, still going through, walking routes. Much respect to y'all. The presentations obtained by E&E News instructs postal on how to discipline letter carriers if they take unauthorized breaks. It does not address the importance of taking breaks to rest and cool down during heat waves, which USPS Heat Protection Plan urges. Instead, it urges postmasters to take extra caution during summer months or when temperatures exceed 80 degrees, and to physically check on inactive carriers during hot periods. Physically check. You're delivering your mail. It's 110 degrees. You're delivering, and you see the van behind you pull up. That's what they're doing. They're checking for inactivity. You're stopping to cool yourself off, and you're taking a break, extra break that is not authorized. They're right there behind you. And once you return to the office, you will be questioned. II is gonna come back. This is insanity, man. Wow. Why? For generations, mail carriers have been treated like this. I get the feeling it's been going on a long time. When is somebody gonna stop and do something about it? Who stands up for us? It's not NALC. Do they stand up for us? I forget sometimes. We just had a convention. They're refusing to give us more money. They stand up for us? We want to avoid OSHA retaliation litigation, the presentation says. OSHA is a big enemy. They actually stand for us. So they're an enemy to the management and the higher-ups of this organization. In another message obtained by E&E News, a USPS labor relations specialist in Pennsylvania sent an email to managers in the region with an attachment that says, Why should we care more about an employee's safety than the employee does? I'm back. It's still going. Oh, my screen timeout came on. Wow. Anyway, I'm trying to wrap this article up. I love it so much. So many times they've been destroyed. Why should we care? That's funny. The attached flyer seemingly blames letter carriers for certain workplace injuries such as car accidents, dog attacks, and heat. If an employee doesn't properly hydrate, then the union wants to file a grievance against management. If an employee wants to be stupid and or careless, how is that the fault of management? The flyer says. We can't cure stupidity. We can only provide consequences. Of course you can. You think we're machines. Corey Walton, a letter carrier in Nashville, Tennessee, who hosts a popular podcast for letter carriers, showed E&E News several dozen messages he received from letter carriers saying they were marked as receiving heat training on days they were not scheduled to work. Is that a shock or surprise? It's such and such employees off, they're resting at home. When they get marked down that they received heat training. You know what happens when it gets really, really hot? We get really, really slow. Walton said in an interview, you know why? Because it burdens our bodies. No kidding. No kidding. Cliff Eddie Davidson, who represents Southeastern letter carriers with the National NALC Union, said his region filed 13 grievances this summer alleging that the heat safety training records were falsified compared to 126 last summer. That's not a surprise at all, guys. That is, wow. Falsification in on top of that to OSHA. We don't have as many cases as last year, Davidson said, but it is not how it should be. Member of Congress and multiple inquiries to LaJoy. Or they put LaJoy instead of dejoy. It's always a joy. The Postmaster General. In the summer of 23 regarding USPS treatment of letter carriers working in the heat. A July 23 letter from Democrats on the House Oversight Committee requested that the mail delivery shifts start earlier in the day during heat waves. On August 2023, letter from Cesar and other Texas Democrats complained about insufficient water being provided to San Antonio letter carriers. Insufficient? There's none at all. Many of the same lawmakers signed the letter Thursday to LaJoy saying they have not seen improvement in worker safety. And you're not going to see. There's a systematic. All right, guys, I'm going to continue this article on my next video. It's really interesting. I love it. Love sharing it. I love it so much, I'm going to have to make a continuation video on it. Take care, guys. This is Syed. Always stay safe, stay cool. Stay hydrated out there, and stay positive always. We'll see you on the next state, guys. Peace.